Confucian philosophy have influence positively in medicine, but also obviously there was a negative influence too. This is a cartoon about medical history. This is not about Oriental medical history. This is about medical history. This is 2 centuries and 3 centuries and 11 centuries. In the 2 centuries, people think in empirical way, empiricism. Greek philosophers, they tried anatomy a lot, rigorously. But after Christianity became dominant in Europe, their thinking became God-oriented, and they didn't want to harm our body, or dissection is strictly prohibited. After Hippocrates and Galenus, 2 centuries, they tried to think it is a natural phenomenon. So I told you this is mythos and this is logos. So mythos from logos. But after Christianity overwhelmed the whole Europe, they started to think again, everything is from God. Everything is from God. Their perspective about disease and human beings changed again. So empiricism became speculative. This is typo. Speculative academia. Academic current. Academic trend. This is the very typical depiction of our dissection of our body in Oriental medicine textbooks. And this is the famous drawing by Vesalius, Italian doctor. Very different. And people say this is holistic perspective, and people say this is reductionism, reductive perspective. And so actually that is true. We have a different perspective. What I'm saying is, from when? Since when we started to get this kind of perspective? I want to challenge that idea here. This is typical drawing of dissection of our body, like this. Very abstract. This is 16th century, 16th centuries, almost same. And this is from Yuan dynasty, so 13th century, around 13th century. This is more in detail compared to this one. This is abstract, but this is more in detail. So actually dissected person, and the painter drew the veins and arteries and the intestines and kidney. Can you see that? Very in detail. This is Yuan dynasty, 13th century. At the same period in Europe, this is their anatomy diagram. This is from Persian medical book, Front Anatomy, 1384. This is anatomical illustration showing the veins, England, 13th century. Which one is more abstract? Which one is more holistic? How can you say Oriental medicine is holistic and Western medicine is based on reductionism? Let's compare that. 1331. This is 1384. Europe, and this is from China. This one is way more in detail. But this kind of difference confronted big changes around 16th century. Renaissance changed whole Europe, and they shifted the idea from God to human again. So they tried to detach politically and economically from Roman Catholic churches. So they started to dissect human beings again. But in China, Neo-Confucianism affected medicine, and their anatomy actually retreated to this. In Chinese medicine, there has been always anatomy. Sometimes it was more emphasized, or sometimes at some time, at a certain period of time, it was ignored. So it depends on time period, but never ever Oriental medicine was out of anatomies, something we call these days properties of biomedicine. So everything's mixed together. Actually, biomedicine also has a side of holistic nature, and Oriental medicine also has a side of reductionism too. So this kind of conclusion is very superficial. This is shame. We are abandoning, giving up anatomy in our medicine. I think we need to retreat our tradition. So dry needling and other aspect of Chinese medicine should be reobtained.